Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of CLX Foundry Live. I'm your host, DJ Blue PDX. Joining me live right now from our studios in Wichita, Kansas, we have got Paul and Zach. Paul is our lead technical expert. Zach is our master builder. And I'm sorry, I'm on painkillers. There we go.
Woo!
So we've got a really incredible build today because we've got a bunch of things that we've never even used before. So we've got this for Jason in Ohio, and I'm kind of jazzed about this because you know how much I like new things. So let's walk through what we're going to be putting in here because I see a lot of stuff on this desk that we've never even seen before.
Yeah, this is an ultimate high-end build here. So running through the specs for our processor, we've got the AMD Ryzen 9 9950X 3D. To cool that, we've got a CR360 from EK. This is the Nucleus Lux. We've done these a couple times on the show, but it's a pretty rare thing. This one is in white. For our motherboard, we've got the ASRock X870E Nova. First time for the show, I believe, on that. Pretty cool. Nova sounds cool.
It's not going nowhere.
Yeah. So, and for our memory, we've got 2 sticks of G.Skill 32GB DDR5 6000 speed Trident Z5 in black with the RGB heat spreaders. For our storage drive, this is pretty special. We got a 2TB Samsung 9100 Pro. And I didn't even know these were out yet.
9100, right?
Until Zach was talking about this build. I was like, look at this.
Like,
I didn't even know. The things are so blazing fast. M.2 drives, the Gen 5. For our case fans, we've got 10 of our Leon Lee Uni fans. They're the 120s in white right here. Now these are the fans that all connect together. Very little cables with these. We'll probably talk a lot about these during the show. For our power supply, we've got an HX1200i from Corsair, so it's a fully modular 80 plus platinum power supply. For our case, we've got the Leon Lee 011 Dynamic Evo XL in white. And for our video card, we've got an NVIDIA RTX 5090 from Zotac. So yeah, very high-end across the board on this build.
Sick. I love it. I love it. Well, as we get things started here, don't forget, if you've got questions about something you hear or see today that you want to know about, or if you've just got computer questions in general, please feel free to ask. We love answering questions. We do. Absolutely. In other news, I blew my rotator cuff.
Hey.
Yep.
We need that.
That was fun.
That air horn.
Yeah. Is pickup softball game?
You know, I would love to say that it was an adventurous story. The problem is it's not. You know the big ice cube trays, the big giant chunky ones you use for like doing something over ice? Well, it's the silicone one, and it had been filled up too high, so it was just a solid block, and I was twisting it like this, and I twisted too hard, and yeah, everything just popped.
Dang.
Right? Like, it could have been like, hey, I was wrestling one of my Great Danes. Sure. You know, I was in a mosh pit. No, I was taking an ice cube out of an ice cube tray. Apparently, I sleep on my side on my arm. Oh, right. There we go. Maybe I'll get a discount with my AARP.
That's the old person injury right there. I feel that, though. I've been, like, sneezing, like, a lot with the allergies, and every time I'm like, oh, I'm going to throw my back out with one of these sneezes. Doesn't feel good.
Wichita back at it again, coming in first place for having the most allergies.
Yeah. Yep.
Number one.
Everything's blooming here. Okay. So, yay. Any Hoosiers. Let's go back over here. Temperance says, I assume dog first as well, because I have legit heard people Tearing a rotator cuff from a dog jerking on the shoulder. Yes, absolutely true. DRD, what's up? Says, is this motherboard the X670E Gaming Plus Wi-Fi? This is, in fact, the ASRock X870E Nova.
Supernova.
So, these are really cool. And first of all, the thing that I love about this motherboard is, well, we've got the little latchy thing there. Look at that backplate, man.
Nice.
Oh, he found a tag. I was gonna say I knew that. I knew what he was looking at. All right, well, this motherboard is wicked. I'm loving the design across it as well. But let's take a look at the ports on the back, because this is where it gets really interesting. Connectivity is, of course, such a huge element on this. So what we've got on here is obviously our two antennas up at the top next to our two little buttons there. And then we've got, so here's where it gets really interesting. We have 5 USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type A's. Those are 10 gig systems there, Lightning gaming ports. We've got 3 USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type A's that also support USB power. You've got 2 USB 4 Type C ports. That's 40 gigs up and down. And then, of course, we have our RJ45 LAN port and our audio down below there. Nice. This is gonna be wicked. I love the design on the front of it. Just the colors. It looks great. Absolutely fantastic. Now, we've heard about the button, but this is actually the latch. You want to tell us how that works, Zach?
Yes, so this is an easy release. It just moves back and locks right in place.
Is it easy? I've never used one of those.
Oh, yeah.
Better or not?
Oh, yeah. It's pretty easy.
Okay.
No Auto over on the purple side says, what GPU would you recommend, an AMD 9070 XT or a 5070 Ti?
Well, that 5070 Ti is probably going to perform a little bit better, but you're going to spend more money on it. That 9070 XT is hot right now. It's a good card. Probably go price to performance, 9070 XT. With the 5070 Ti.
All right, now we've got it. Now here's the fun part, is this, I can't even spell right now, is a processor. Now this is a Ryzen 9 9950 X3D. I'm pretty sure this is about as top of the line as you can get. That's, no, not me. I kept hearing them through you.
Yeah, it is a pretty awesome processor for sure.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, tell me a little bit about this processor, because it seems, honestly, it's huge. Plus, let's talk about what the X3D does.
So this is a 16-core, 32-thread processor. So this is going to handle all the games and anything else you're doing on top of it. This is not just a gaming processor. This can do everything. It's got a base speed of 4.3 and a boost up to 5.7. It uses AMD's X3D technology, which is a way of vertically stacking the V-cache on top of the CPU die. Now, in the newer generation, that was put closer to the die for better heat distribution. So there's a little bit of difference between the first gen and the second gen, but same ideas. Bigger surface area means more cache, which equals better
real quick, jumping over. Alrighty, over to the red side. First of all, hello, Traxxas. How many computers has CLX made for people? I would say tons.
We've served over 9 billion. No, I don't know.
That's
we a lot. A whole lot. We do need that McDonald's
That's efficiency.
out front. That'd be cool.
Kenneth Lott says, I was hoping this was my build, but CLX computer starts assembly today per the site. That's awesome. That is great. Let's see here. Traxxas also has a PC from us. Freakazoid says, Guten Tag. 9970 XT, NVIDIA have become money. Oh, the 9970 XT is the highest.
The 9070 XT or the 9970? We got so many.
It says 9970 XT. So I'm not exactly sure what that means.
Don't want to label their stuff properly.
Right.
It makes it confusing.
Yep. And then the No Auto asks, is 850 a good price for the 1979 XT?
I don't even know what a 9070. I'm assuming you mean 9070 XT. And I think 850 is high for that. I would have to look.
Yep, there we go. Now, speaking of things that we're looking at this little brace that's sitting over here to the upper right of the screen. That is going to be for our AIO. So when you're connecting these, Zach, what are some key things to look for and to keep in mind when you are when you're installing them?
Yes, so no matter what heat distribution device you are using, you want to use the proper retention kit. And the retention kit is going to be consistent of a couple things. We will have our standoffs, we will have our lock ring, and then we will have our nuts. So we want to make sure that we have the proper AMD or Intel, according to whichever chipset you have. And then from there, just kind of get it all plugged in, make sure you have some thermal paste down, and you're good to go.
Nice. Awesome. Alrighty, now we've got that all up on there, mounted and such. Now we're going to talk about this AIO. Now this is really cool because if we've done this before, which the guy said that we have, I don't remember it.
It's been a while.
I don't know if it was. So this is an EK nucleus. It's a CR360 Lux in white. Now, we have to. I know. Yeah, you're right. We have because it's got the little L shape on the end.
Yep.
The lip where the tubes are, which is different than a lot of AIOs, if I'm being completely honest. See how that sits like that? So, is there an advantage to that kind of design when it comes to throughput of the liquid for the radiator?
I don't believe so. I think it's more of an aesthetic thing. It can be a disadvantage because it will limit what type of fans we can put on there. If you have too much of a bulky fan or something that sticks out, it can cause that. But I think it's more of an aesthetic thing as opposed to increasing cooling performance.
Nice. Nice. Now you can do these and I guess decorate these several different ways. Decorate with fans. You can put 3 fans on top, 3 fans on the bottom, or 3 fans on each side.
Oh, yeah, the push-pull.
Yeah, so we like to have fans pushing air through the radiator. That's the optimal way to set it up if you're just going to have fans on one side. You can have them pushing air, pulling air. Pushing air is going to be better, and then if you have them both sides, that's a push-pull. But that's kind of uncommon. You need 3 more fans, you got to have room in the case, all that good stuff. So typically we're just going to be pushing air through it.
So what are some of the cool features of this AIO?
It's a pretty standard AIO. Now we do have addressable RGB on it, which is nice. So you can get this. Most likely we're going to tie the RGB into the case. That way everything's all synced up and looks all nice. But yeah, other than that, pretty standard AIO.
There we go. A little bit of thermal paste on the back there, and then we're going to get that thing attached. Now, when it comes to thermal paste, how do you know you've got the right thermal paste?
Well, a little goes a long way with thermal paste. Now, a lot of AIOs will either come with it pre-applied, like this one, so we know that's going to be a correct amount to use, or it'll come with a little tube of thermal paste in there. Now, you won't use everything that's in that tube, but just a little pea-sized drop is good enough. You can spread it around if you want to get artsy with it. It's a good way to do it. Ensures you got thermal paste all around. We do that sometimes on here.
How many stickers do they need?
Just one that rips off a whole bunch.
Right? Oh my goodness. Okay. Now these can go in different directions. Oops. These can go in different directions when it comes to how you install them. So what do you need to keep in mind when you're installing this on your motherboard?
The biggest thing here is that you've got the right hardware, like Zach grabbed, our AM5 hardware, and then obviously you want this logo to be the right side. We could flip this around, but then it would be upside down, and it would look silly, so we don't want that.
There we go. And then we'll screw that on. Coming back over here. By the way, what's up, Conrad? Good to see you over on the green side. On the red side, Kenneth Lott asks, my assembly started today. When could I expect my PC to ship?
So if it started today, most likely it is 1:15 here. So should be done by end of day today and into testing. So it's at least going to be into testing for another day, and then it'll go to QA and shipping probably by, I don't want to overpromise anything, but definitely be shipping out by the end of the week. Maybe 2 days would be like the fastest, I believe.
There we go. Daquan says, what's the difference between a built-in graphics card, and a dedicated one? Excellent question.
So a built-in graphics card is probably what you mean by that is an onboard, where it's built into the processor. So a lot of processors can have their graphics built in. Now, typically those are designated with like a G. That's for the AMD. So if you see like a 5400G or 5600G or I don't even know 7600G, whatever the new one is now, that means you got onboard graphics, so you don't need a video card. Now, it isn't going to be as powerful as most of the video cards out there. So, you know, if you're wanting to play stuff at higher resolutions, higher frame rates, you probably do need to get a video card. But it's a good way to game on the cheap.
Freakazoid says, does the guy doing the building prefer basic thermal compound or liquid metal? Ooh, good question.
Have not played with liquid metal.
So what exactly is liquid metal?
I just thought of something, so now I'm trying to wrap around it real quick.
Cool.
Sorry, the question?
What exactly is the liquid metal option?
I believe it is pretty similar to thermal paste, just like a different compound, a little bit more high end. I have only watched a video about it, so I'm not as learned on what all, if you're overclocking and you're using liquid nitrogen, that's not a daily run PC. Mm-hmm. So you're clearly not daily running liquid nitrogen. I don't know how liquid metal operates on a daily use compared to we're just testing type style. So that's where I would kind of look at those numbers over any other number.
Let's see here. Freakazoid says, so something like that of a 5600G, the G stands for graphics, as in unlocking for graphics.
G unit.
Is that correct?
Sounds correct to me.
Yep.
All right. Hectic Motorsports, welcome in, says, I have a CLX computer and recently got a Samsung Odyssey G9 57-inch monitor. The computer is hooked up through DisplayPort 2.1 3070 GeForce RTX. I have another monitor hooked up through the HDMI to a TV. That sounds great. So, his question is, whenever I boot up my computer, my 3070 doesn't show a display on the G9 unless I reboot the monitor over and over. Ooh. That is Paul, that's easy.
So when are you getting video or when are you not getting video?
So, yeah, sometimes whenever he boots up the computer, the 3070 doesn't show a display, and then on the G9 unless he reboots the monitor over and over as well.
Some weird stuff going on there. Make sure your drivers are up to date. This is the first thing everybody's going to tell you to do. You might just have a loose connection. You might just unplug your cable and replug it back in. Could just be a loose connection on there. Something silly's going on. I don't think anything's broken, though.
The Matrix had you took the wrong pill. Oh, no. Don't touch the mirrors.
Great discussion over here on the Twitch side with regards to the liquid metal, but apparently it doesn't last as long as thermal paste, which is interesting. We did miss one thing that I do want to talk about really fast, because these are some of the best ones out there. These are 10 different Leon Lee 120 fans. Now, I don't know if you've seen the show before where it's lots of cables, lots of cords. This, however, is very different because they just plug into each other and there's one master cord. Can you show us an example of that, Paul?
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and get some more sets out of the box, but what we've got set up right now for AIO, you can see this is all one fan. Now Zach's going to get the cable figured out how we want to run it when it's attached to the AIO, but yeah, pretty sweet.
Nice. Yeah, it seems like it would be a lot easier doing that. Monoblasto says, speaking of onboard graphics, what would be the approximate GPU equivalent of the latest motherboards?
You're probably looking at something like a 3050, pretty entry level to mid level video cards. It will depend because there's different processors with different specs on them, so they're not all the same. But in that lower end to middle of the road video card.
Uh-oh. Hectic mentions also if the monitor and TV are on at the same time, whenever I boot the computer, it gives the red light of death.
The red light of death.
I thought it was a white
Xbox
light.
360.
Yeah, might be some intense troubleshooting. Yeah. That's what frequency had said. But Paul, how would you go about troubleshooting that?
I would check the drivers, and I would unplug everything and plug it all back in. Make sure there isn't some weird loose connection going on. There might be some weird like priority settings in your graphics settings where it's trying to prioritize one device over the other, but that's kind of a tough one to troubleshoot without having it here.
Yes. So once you get them secured in,
what we don't know is it's a smart TV, and the smartness of the TV is overriding the smartness of the computer, and that's registering as a capture card / sound card, and that's why it's registering a monitor as a sound device instead of a visual device. I don't know. I'm just guessing at that point. Smart TVs are crazy, outdated.
The UI is always so bad on them too. Like, come on.
Oh yeah. Daquan asked a question. Is it okay to have both or just one? I'm assuming you're referring to onboard graphics or graphics card.
Yeah, it is definitely okay to have both. That's what most people do. A lot of things you can do is like, you can get a system, save yourself some money. If you don't have the money to spend on a graphics card, you can get one with onboard graphics, and then later on, when you have the money to upgrade, you can just throw a video card in and everything will run fine. So
nice. Now, I love the reflective certain elements of those fans. That actually looks great. So when it comes to, when it comes to the direction of the flow of the air, what am I going to do with that?
So we're going to be pushing air through. So air's going to be coming in on this side and pushing it out the radiator.
There we go. Now, here's some fun stuff. It's just like the air ramming through that radiator. We're going to throw some RAM on our board, and this is going to be two 32 gig sticks of G.Skill DDR5 6000. This is Trident Z5 in black. Now, that's 64 gigs of DDR5 6000. That's what I have. But he did it in 2 sticks instead of 4, which means what?
Means we got 2 extra slots to expand in the future.
So when it comes to RAM, how does increasing the amount of RAM affect performance?
So back in the day, it was always RAM is speed. Now there's a few other factors in here, but the more RAM you have in your system, the better it is going to run. Now there is like a cutoff on that. Like once you get to 32 gigs, if you're just gaming, that's probably plenty to game on. When you start getting up to 64 and higher, you're most likely going to be using that if you're doing like video processing, video editing, that type of stuff.
Let's see here. Now, I do see sitting on the table something that looks kind of fun to play with. And this is going to be our brand new 2 terabyte Samsung 9100 Pro NVMe M.2. That is wild.
That's so small.
Zach, you mentioned this earlier in our pre-show talk. Tell them how fast this thing reads and writes.
Yeah.
Give me 2 seconds. This is why I'm so impressed with this thing. Look at that. Dun, dun, dun.
14,700 megabits per second.
Yeah.
Correct?
So GTA
That's
6.
ridiculous.
GTA 6 for sure on this bad boy.
You'll be able to finally hit 60 FPS with that.
Oh, good night.
If you're lucky.
You know how fast this thing would load Crisis?
I feel like we'd be in a crisis if you had
before it's loaded.
Now, when you're installing these, you just want to plug it in, make sure all your plastic is off of your heat sinks.
Correct.
And some of them are a little bit easier than others. But a lot of boards are actually moving towards a little flip clip instead of the screw. which
Makes it real
is
nice.
makes it's a less stressful. I'll tell you that much. And then we've got Hectic asks, what's the best way to clean a PC? Are air dusters bad?
No, air duster is great for cleaning a PC. Just keep it away from your facing mouth area. But there are some vacuums that you can get, and even little handheld dust blowers that you can buy that just recharge with a USB, and that way you don't have to, go through the cans of duster all the time. We switched over to those rechargeable kind of blower and vacuum things here, as opposed to just using the canned air.
Oh, nice. I didn't even know that was a thing. Cool. I'll have to check that out.
Did I have to
Okay.
this case?
And what the heck?
Did I?
I
Oh, is it? No.
don't know.
Okay. Improvise.
Boom, boom, boom.
Overcode. May I get muted real quick, Jason?
Uh-oh.
Thank you.
So while he is being the muted, I do want to point out that watch what Paul is doing right now. This is the cool part. Just how he attaches them. They just
See this?
and you can't flip them backwards, can you?
No, they go in one. Well, like if I want to do it like this,
Yeah.
I mean,
That's not it.
You could. I would not do that though. You want
Right.
them
I just wasn't sure if there was a. Yeah. Exactly. Now, are these are all single directional,
Thanks, Jason.
as opposed to the inverted fan? Which are the ones with the inverted fan blades that you can get?
So you can get these in the inverted fan blades as well.
That's why I remember them. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I love these fans. They look great. They light up really, really great.
Yeah. These are really
I don't think I ever noticed the mirror front though.
Yeah, that's one of the different models that they have. They got a few different models of these. This is that one. Now, for our cable here, you can see how everything's plugged in. Our cable will just slide on here, and that's what will give it power. Now, I'm not going to snap it into place yet because I'm not sure Zach wants it this way or this way, so we'll let Zach do that.
Legit genius design. That just changes the entire game when it comes to fans. Hashim is in the house. Hello. Let's see. The best way I remember things with RAM was with as 8 gig minimum, 16 gigs ample, and 32 gigs comfortable, at least when it came to Windows. Now with a good M.2 or SSD, it doesn't matter as much, but I find it a good rule of thumb. Seems legit. Hectic says, what's the contact info to have someone help troubleshoot my display issues? I will try checking all connections, drivers, updates, etc. Depends who'd you get it from.
If you got it from us, just look up our tech support. We might be able to post that in chat as well, our number there, but yeah.
Yep. And bump it now to 16, 32, 64. Yeah, Temperance. That's actually kind of brilliant on that one. 16 is the baseline now. 32 is good. 64 is ridiculous. But I can definitely say from a performance standpoint, it helps a ton. All right, now Zach is getting our motherboard installed completely. And he's going to be screwing these little guys into what's called the mount. The post.
Standoff.
Okay, help me up. That's what I meant. Sorry.
This is a ASRock X870E Nova motherboard. We have a Ryzen 9 9950 X3D.
Yeah.
and
Which is just a
5090.
wildly powerful processor. Wildly powerful. Hashim, no, this is an ASRock instead of an MSI. This is an ASRock.
Like this, right, Zach?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
We'll need 4 cables in total.
And you've got one for
Yep.
yeah, okay. Extras.
I'm going to be very
And I'll
interested to
need
see how
one
this
of the hubs.
board lights up, just because I think it'll make a really good effect against that all-white internal build.
Yeah.
That's true temperance.
And that's it.
Yep.
That's
I
nice.
know, it's easy, you know. 6 cables and we're good.
Love it.
I'm so used to typing with both hands, and so every time I go and try and move my arm to type, it just spasms. I'm just like, oh my dear God,
Stop spazzing.
stop right away. Ooh, that's a good shot right there. For 2 different reasons. Now, one of the great things about these cases is they're kind of what we consider a 2/3 or 3/5 case. So why is that, Paul? And it's a great angle to showcase that.
This is because our motherboard sits 2/3 of the way down in the case. You can see the bottom of our I/O right here. So this is the bottom of our motherboard, which gives us a whole bunch of room in this area for extra stuff. So we've got extra hard drive bays, power supply is going to go back there, a whole bunch of good cable management channels and all that good stuff. And then in the bottom here, we've got our dust filter. Super easy to clean.
There we go. Nice. Now, as for ports on this build, what do we have as external ports that are built right into the case itself?
So we've got 4 USB 3.0s on the front here, 1 Type-C, and then a headset and mic port.
Nice. Awesome. I love the way these cases look. I love the way they perform. All right, and you can see right there where that I/O shield is that we were talking about earlier at the very beginning, and now you can see all those ports just line right up. It says right there. All right, keeping that radiator mounted in. So we're going to have 3 fans on the bottom that are pushing air in, 3 fans on the back which are pushing air in, and then we're going to have 3 fans blowing out across the radiator and 1 more blowing out the exhaust over by the motherboard. So that's a total of 6 versus 4. So how does that help when it comes to cooling your system?
So having more intakes than you do exhausts gives you a positive pressure environment inside your PC, which is what you would like to shoot for. That means all the air coming in is going to be going through the correct air filters and all that good stuff. If you add more exhaust than intake, it creates a vacuum inside your PC, and that can cause a bunch of dust and a whole bunch of stuff you don't want inside your PC to get sucked in through all those little holes that you can see right now.
Yes. Let's see here. Oh, somebody loved me and told me how to access my dust filter the easy way, so now I get cleaned more often than every 3 months. Got it.
Nice.
Was it previously hard to clean? Okay. Now the Evo XL, which is what this is, does it have a hot swappable bays?
It does. It does have hot swappable bays in the back.
Internal hot swaps.
Nice.
The secure kind of hot swap bay.
Yeah.
So your little sibling won't steal your video game process and ruin it.
Nice. Ow. Trying to just wrap my hand over the front of my stomach. Okay, so now again, I really do love the look of this case, especially all the grommets. But I think this thing is going to be really impressive for me. Is you notice the very top where the radiator is, Paul? Mm-hmm. Those 3 mirror elements on those fans.
Yeah, those look nice.
I think that's going to look incredible, especially when you're considering that there's going to be light inside of there.
We should see them in the bottom as well.
Yeah, that's going to be fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And yeah, I don't know who mentioned it, but that board is just gorgeous, as motherboards go. All right. So, one question that a lot of people have asked that I haven't been asked today, but I'll definitely ask it for whoever might not know. What is the best way to understand how and where you plug your case cables in versus your component cables?
That's a good question. So for our case cables, that's all of our USB ports down here, power button, reset button, fan button, all that stuff that's built onto the case. So we plug those in before we get started on any of the other cable management because that just makes our life a lot easier. We can plug in our USBs, our powers. The only thing we don't plug in from the case is going to be our SATA because obviously we need the power supply to be in for that. And so doing this and getting those cables managed before we get all the other components in just saves us a lot of headache as far as sorting out wires and figuring out where things need to go.
So speaking about where things need to go, yeah, as you can see right here, these you can see right are two different hot swap bays that, in this case, swing out, which is a little bit different than some of the other models.
Yeah, some of the other models have trays that slide out the back of the case. These ones, the actual whole bay just swivels out. But same concept really. We've got SATA data and SATA power coming out the back of those hard drive bays. Our SATA datas, Zach's already plugged those into the motherboard, and our SATA powers we will plug in when we get our power supply in.
There we go. Now, this is something that I absolutely adore. The way that the cables are for these, they're so smooth, and they're either flat, round, but they just look clean and smooth. Okay.
The perfect.
Yeah, see what I mean? That flat cabling is so fantastic.
Nice.
Now, is that flat ribbon cable style part of the case cables, or is that part of the power supply cables?
Yeah, these are all the USB cables. So if we go, give me 2 seconds in it. Okay,
no worries.
This cable, we can see it. I'm plugging in here. So we have our HD audio, typical HD audio, 10 times out of 10, it's going to be over in this bottom corner here. Unless you're playing with like a ITX board, then it might be up like closer to your IO shield. Then pretty close to your HD audios are going to be some RGB headers. And so this is going to be our case RGB. And then we have a couple USB headers, some fan headers. Then this is our nice USB 3.0 header that we have. Then we have our front panel. And then working up the side, we've got our SATA cables for all those ports. Another Type 3 port, which is very nice because this case does come with 2. And then we have our Type C. And then this is where our header for our color for this guy will be. And typically your CPU fan headers or liquid cooler headers are going to be on the right side. And then our CPUs that we haven't plugged in to power our processor are up in the top left.
Nice. Cosworth asks, is it just me or is there a sticker on that SSD mount? I don't know.
It might just be the reflection on it. We should have all the stickers off all the stuff right now.
Okay. I wanted to tell you guys this just because I thought it was funny over the weekend while I was playing around with while I was DJing. I was practicing with trying to fix one of my faders, which is not important. And I did not realize that there is a hotkey to immediately force reverse the track. And then every time you push play, it's just going backwards. And I could not, it took me a good 10 minutes to figure out what the heck I'd done. All I could think of was Oracle, the Oracle PC. I'm like, see, this is what happens.
Yep.
You think about it, and everything goes backwards. Good stuff.
Satanic forces at work.
Did you say satanic horses?
Yeah.
Well, forces. Got it. Never mind. I was like, what? What? All right. Speaking of things that are awesome, let's talk about something that'll save you from evil all the time, and that is our Corsair 1200 watt 80 plus platinum modular power supply. Now this is a big boy. This is big.
Yeah.
Huge, and apparently and rather heavy, I would imagine.
Yeah,
so tell us a little bit about this and what the different types of power supplies are.
Yeah, so this is a fully modular power supply, which means the power brick is right here in my hand, as you can see. None of the cables are pre-soldered in. It will come with a second box or bag of cables. This one has a box, I'm assuming. Oh, no bag. Okay, just a box. I always thought it was going to be a bag in a box. And that's got all of our cables. Now, we won't be using all those, so I'm going to go ahead and sort out the cables that we're going to be using for this build, and then all the extras will be sent along with the accessories for the customer in case they ever need it and upgrade later on. But yeah,
Nice.
It's 1200 watt. So this is a big power supply. Now, we do have room for it in this case, but this is bigger than even your standard size. You can see standard size is usually about the size of that fan, and this is pretty large.
Yes. Okay. Now, platinum obviously is not something we generally hear all the time on this show. A lot of times it's just usually a gold. So what are the different levels of for power supplies, and what's the difference?
So the 80 plus rating is the efficiency rating on the power supply. So you have 80 plus standard, which will just be like a white logo, and then you'll have bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and titanium. And the higher up you go, the more efficient the power supply is. So the amount of power it's pulling out of your wall versus the power that it's using.
I apologize for not responding to some of these messages in typing. I'm typing with one hand, and it's my non-dominant hand, so it's very awkward. I had to put my contacts in with my other hand today.
Oh.
Right?
I'd be blind.
All right, so now we get that out. We're looking to have to plug in certain things. Now, who's got a question? I've got a question. So does that front pump on the AIO just light up, or does it actually have images or words or numbers, or is it just
This thing right here is just a nice little see-through screen. So depending on whatever color we want, it can be a different color. So
nice.
It'll glow. But yeah, makes it nice so that like when we're doing the invert builds, because we do some pretty cool invert builds, this allows us to just go with the flow and flip the cap upside down, and now it's right side up if it was upside down. So, but yeah, it'll just this is just a nice RGB circle, so it just glows pretty colors through there.
I know that Clover says, "Oof." Black motherboard in that case is with a white AIO. Personally, I like it. I think it's cool. It just definitely stands out. Definitely stands out. Okay. I want to get our next set of fans going on. That does make it look a lot easier to assemble.
Yes. The being able to lock them in is very nice.
Did not realize you could just twist those out like you just did. Those little clippies.
Oh, the ends, yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, wait, what?
Makes them to where you can.
There's these where they all clip together.
Yeah, the way
You can
that
just take
they
those out.
lock in.
Mm-hmm.
Those little boots, you can remove the boots so that gives it a nice, clean, flush finish. So you don't have to look at any kickers. But that's how the system locks together. If I can do this away from me. You did it so perfectly, now I ruined it. There we go.
Way to go, Zach.
Ever since I broke one of them on undoing them, I'm like, once they're locked in, that's how it's going to be. I'm not skilled enough to get them undone without breaking them.
Man, I have discovered that in all the wrong ways this last weekend. It was beautiful here, by the way, on Saturday. Yeah. And I went out to try and help fix a couple things in the backyard with Kevin, my housemate, and was trying to plug in some lighting, the backyard lighting back in, because it had just come undone. Why would somebody make a light that is designed for outdoor and then make it with a plastic housing? That you've got to grind into this. Oh my gosh, it's annoying.
Material.
There you go.
Oh no, they all broke. I broke 6 different light connectors. It's like, you've got to be kidding me. Also, note to self: if it doesn't want to like squeeze together on the power line, don't use a rubber mallet.
Use a copper mallet. Wait, no. You use a lead mallet so that the lead takes the damage.
There you go.
There we go. Here we go. Don't use a mallet. I know now. Now, information that would have been good, I don't know, 2 days ago. 3 days ago. Counting, DJ, it's important. Just for information's sake, which direction are the fans blowing and how do you know?
So they're going to be bringing air in from the bottom. So the biggest way to tell is usually the fan grill. So this side that you're seeing right now is the intake, and this is the exhaust. Now there are reverse flow fans. So, but you'll know if you're buying those. If you're buying reverse flows, you know which way the air is going.
Oh yeah, everywhere.
So how's your games been lately, guys?
Pretty good.
Oh,
I'm still on that classic WoW, so we're still doing it. Living the dream.
I'm halfway through playthrough plus on Bloodstained.
Nice.
It's great. I love games that you can play through plus because you just take your already overpowered character and just keep overpowering them. And you just up the difficulty.
Yeah, that's good. That's what I really liked with Dark Souls. Was that. I don't like the
I've been loving Dark Tide.
Oh,
that kind of stuff.
Dark Tide.
Warhammer.
I've been having fun with that one. That is a good one. Le Mignon is in the house. Hello. Did Zach ever get home internet? Oh, that's a good question.
No.
It's like, not really.
I'm working on my RC car, guys, and my real truck.
Yes, there we go. There we go.
I just want to drive my Bronco.
Maybe we'll get the RC car and some of the TikToks.
I'm hoping. We got a mud pit out there right now, and it's really tempting. So I've owned it for like 3 months now, and I finally drove it through like a teeny little water puddle on my flipped over kayak. So like literally, it's just like I could pour more water out of a water bottle style. Yeah. I'm like, that was my first time like getting it muddy and wet. But yeah, we have our parking lot here at work is all ripped up, and I kind of just want to roll through it.
Yeah, it did rain too. And that rain's been, so they haven't been working on it.
Yeah. Oh no.
So
how's your guys' weather been? Is it finally starting to not freeze every day?
Yeah, it's gotten a little better. It's been pretty nice. Chilly mornings, but we'll take it.
Yeah, I saw the meme today. I don't know how to get ready for how to dress for the day because the morning is winter, the noontime is spring, after lunch is summer, and it's fall by the time I need to go home.
That's right.
Yep.
That's the heater on in the morning and the AC on the way home.
Yep.
Okay, now we get our fans put in there. And I'm just fascinated by the mirrors on the front of the fans. So you can just see everything directly after them.
Yeah, you can almost re-chat with these.
Okay.
See that? Yeah, there's all you beautiful chatters right there.
I see what you did there. It's fantastic. All right. So other than that, Chad, how are you doing? What's your plans for the week? You ready for Thursday's show? It's going to be up here on TikTok with CLX Foundry Live, and you're going to be able to join and team up with Paul and Zach for more adventures. There's reasons.
We got Ren Fair this weekend. Jason was telling me about it.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
Here, Jason, not our producer, Jason, but another builder, Jason, is pretty involved in that stuff.
Yeah, Jason the Pirate.
Yeah, he's in his full regalia today, which is cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We were walking around earlier, and I was in my cloak, and Justice was like, man, I like when both you guys walk next to it, walk side by side. Yeah. I'll get it up.
There's a couple friends of mine that
Thanks,
have been
Jason.
doing the fashion week stuff.
Joke. Steve the Pirate. Who's Steve the Pirate? Steve,
oh my God, Dodgeball, still one of my favorite movies ever. I be sharing new treasure with you. Right? Oh God, what's the name? His name is the actor's. God, he was in Firefly and Alan Tudyk. God, that guy is so ridiculously talented, just absurd. The amount of voices he does for cartoons, on top of video games, and then acting. It's like he's kind of done everything. I like it. I read that wrong, and I'm glad I didn't say it out loud. Perfect. One thing that I also want to point out that I like about this case is the locking mechanism on the back for the plates. The little thumb screw. Mm-hmm. And I always forget what those things are called. Little plates got to take off so you can plug your HDMI in.
PCIe slot covers.
Slot covers. There we go. Slot cover. Here's a slot cover. Now, as far as, well, we haven't taken that card out yet. I'm going to be very interested. This is going to be the first time I've seen the Zotac 5090. And I'm intrigued to see how thick this card is going to be.
It's going to be a big boy, I think. I'll go ahead and start getting it unboxed.
Ooh, okay, well, let's take a look at this. This is going to be fun. So, like you mentioned before, it is going to be an RTX 5090. This has got 32 gigs of VRAM. How incredible is that?
It's more than my system.
That's more than my.
Yeah.
It's more memory than I've got.
It's more than me.
I wish I could remember 32 years.
No, you don't. Because I remember 30.
But
I
then
remember
I
more
know
than
why
30
I'm
years,
so
and it's
hurt.
exhausting. Denial is a great place to go for a swim. You can also rock a nice kayak in there. That thing says damage, like I don't want to talk about it. Oh my gosh, I missed an incredible shot on Sunday playing pool.
Awesome.
One of those moments. Okay.
Blame your shoulder. Or was
Right.
this before the shoulder?
This was before the shoulder.
Oof.
Oh. Yep. The shoulder was Sunday night.
Ugh.
We're just making food. A pack of the ice cube.
Well, that's what you get, man.
Literally. Like, right?
Looks like DJ needs to start limbering up before he takes down his gazelles.
Right? Final Kill Cam Man, hey, CLX and chat. Hello, how are you? Good to see you. I don't know how everybody else's allergies are doing this year, but mine are definitely,
This
well,
world
they're
is
here.
on fire.
Right?
Okay. What was I doing? Big boy. Okay. Let's
Flip it around. QCam man asks a good question. Says, I have a question. What is the best way to clean my PC? Another good question.
The best way is going to be make sure your system is off, first of all. After that, you can use cans of duster, or you can get like a microfiber cloth, and there's some electronics cleaner. We use stuff like this that's electronically. Which camera are we on over here? This is blow off.
Oh, blow off
cleaner. We use a lot of this here. It smells nice, and it cleans really nicely as well, and it's safe to use inside the PC.
Yeah, I have to say, it's nice that people are finally taking the time to give their sprays a fragrance other than a chemical burn to the eyeball.
Yeah.
But how else do you reset your eyesight?
Well, there's 9-volt batteries.
You got a big eye if you could touch those sockets with one eyeball.
Please, this is people. We are joking and being facetious. Don't try this at home.
Try it.
Yeah,
9 volt and
sure. I heard
2
not to use air spray cans. You know, we actually were talking about this earlier. Paul, tell them about the rechargeable little thingy.
Yeah, there's like a rechargeable electronics blower. If you just like search that up, you'll probably find one. It's basically the same concept as like a can of duster, But you can just recharge it, so you don't have to worry about it running out or letting it heat back up or anything like that.
Or having to give the cashier at Walmart your ID to prove
True.
that you're 21 to be able to buy a can of air.
Kind of just, yeah. Yeah, you don't get the womp womps with the rechargeable one, but that's okay.
I watched somebody on a Twitch stream take 2 of those cans of compressed air, flip them upside down while he was DJing, and use it like it was fog machines. And all I could think of was, that is so dangerous. Please don't do that anymore. You're going to get a headache.
Yeah.
Not the way it's supposed to be used, sir. Okay. We're getting these final cords and cables tied up. You got me tied up, tied up. Okay. Building computers, okay? Hello, Jack. What's going on? Welcome. What about spinning the fans when off? I heard that's not good.
So you don't want to blow the air like directly onto the fan, because you can make them spin faster than what they should be spinning at, and that can cause damage. But if they're spinning like a little bit, like you can wipe them down with your finger or something like this, like that's not going to do any damage to them or anything. But just holding like compressed air on them and making them go way faster than they should, that's not good. But giving them the old check is just fine.
Yep. Okay. Now, once again, I'm fascinated by the mirrors. Temperance messaged me and said, I can tell you're on pain meds because you keep staring at the mirrors. Shiny! They do look really cool though. I'm just fascinated by them. Megan 2.0 looks interesting. The first one was awkward. I liked it, but it was just bonkers.
Who's Megan?
So I'll be very, very interested to see what they do with the sequel. Filter, sir, filter. Oh, me? Yes, probably.
Okay, so
Let's see. I'm a continued development for my mobile game. Oh, nice. You're developing a mobile game.
I'll need a
Cool.
one with a dongle.
Did you say what's a dongle?
Oh, no, sorry, just kidding. Well,
We got it?
haha, I can count. I
Oh,
promise. I just stopped at 4th grade.
We're professionals here, people, we promise.
One number per grade.
Yep. Okay.
By 10th grade, you can count to 10.
Hey now. I'm doing my best.
Final Kill Cam Man says,
The fingers I have.
oh, go. Right? For now. We might grow a new one. You guys are the best. So is my 4080 i9 Intel CLX PC is a beast. Congratulations. That is awesome.
Thank you.
Nice.
Yes.
We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that thing was wicked.
We've got
I was very impressed with that.
Let's just do this. All the...
This is looking clean. Very clean. It's definitely a difference when you're dealing with a fewer amount of cables coming out of the fans.
Yeah, there really is.
It's got a very clean look to it. It's got to be easier to deal with as well, Zach, right?
Correct. Yes. I've been doing some intense fans this week with like each fan having 2 cables, and I'll get like everything all tied in and done, and then be like, oh, it's good to go. Oh wait, I need to put my fans in too, and then it like doesn't ruin it, but it turns a pretty into a prettiness behind. It's the beauty within, right?
Yes.
Here we go. That's what we're looking for. Now, once we get this graphics card out, I'm going to be very interested what we got it out, how heavy this thing is.
It's a heavy, it's a heavy card for sure.
Is it?
We will be using an anti-sag bracket on this thing.
And have you ever had a case where it's been so heavy that you've needed 2 anti-sag brackets?
No, that's
Or is
never
that
happened.
no? Okay, good.
Sir,
So
you need to calm down with that there talk. We're wanting them to go the other direction, not the direction of let's make all of our phones bigger, but like let's,
Oh my gosh,
compact
dude,
some
right?
size.
Yeah, I don't want to have to decide if we need 1 or 2 anti-sag brackets.
I have a rule about phones. I have to check. It has to fit in my pocket comfortably. If it doesn't, if it's too big, I can't do it. Right.
Okay, so then this.
And what cable is that, Zach?
So this is our fan hub. So similar to like how our Game DS fans all plug into one nice hub, and that can be plugged into the board. And the Lee components all plug into this one hub, which has some power to it. It can control the speed of the fans and the color of the fans. But the one thing that we do want to make sure on, if you're building a system with Lee fans at home or Corsair fans, please download that software and upload that, and that will help you. I need that unplugged significantly along the way. There we go.
Nice. Now, since these are all individually plugged in for the fan, right? And you got one cable for the 3, does that change how you wire your fan hub?
No, I still do my typical 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4. And so that makes it easy to where if I have an issue, I can still just easily revert back to it and be like, yep, that is half plugged in. I need to finish plugging it in.
Jack says, man, if I got a 1660 RX or an RX 580, I'd be happy.
Hell yeah, brother.
Could probably get
Check
one
the
of those
sales,
pretty
my
cheap.
friend. Yeah, I would imagine so. I was about to try to Google it, and I'm like, all right, type with one hand, dude. Who's that? Let's see here. Oh, yeah. They are right around $100, apparently. Ish. And if that's the online, well, then there you go. Up next. What do we got?
So now
So we've got our fan box plugged in. So we're going to plug in our other SATA connections. So 2 more coming out of the fan hub. And then we've got 2 SATAs coming out of our extra hard drive bays and 1 from the case. So pretty much wrapping up here. This is kind of the part of the build where it all comes together and just ends pretty quickly, honestly, once you get to this part. This is where all that time spent managing the case cables, fan cables, all that pays off.
There we go. Nice. You know, I just noticed the paintings behind you.
Oh,
I've been staring at this forever. Looking at this studio forever for years. I just noticed the paintings.
they've been there for
Those
a
are
minute.
gorgeous.
We got
Oh, yeah.
Jinx, we got Illidan. What was that,
Who?
Sylvanas?
is that a WoW guy?
Illidan? Yes.
Okay. Sorry if I offended you.
You are not prepared. You know that? You heard that? Emma?
At least I got my
You are
chicken.
not prepared.
That's all I know from WoW.
That's our boy Illidan right there.
Oh.
Sylvanas, she's a bad guy who was a good guy who was a bad guy who might be a good guy again. WoW lore's all messed up now.
Jeez, it's like
What lore is
they
not?
take notes from.
True.
Let's see here. Cookaman said, I'm on the WGA Wisconsin Games Alliance Committee, and we host MDev in Wisconsin in the WI building. Oh. And with building a game on my CLX PC. Oh, that's fantastic.
Nice.
You're actually using it for game development.
That's sweet.
That's nice.
Send us some of your finest cheese.
Yes. Jack, have a great one. Good to have you here.
We will enjoy it on stream. Well,
Yes.
maybe. I will enjoy it on stream. I don't know if that's worth it for you, Zach.
I just want to eat like cheese.
Yeah.
I would love to eat cheese too. I can't though.
I'll eat
World
enough
hates
cheese
us,
for the 3 of us.
Hey, well, I don't think you could eat enough, Paul.
Won't stop me from trying.
I literally eat cheese until I can't breathe anymore. That's how I go hard when I eat cheese.
Yeah, you gotta get it. Yeah, if you're gonna do it, you gotta make it worth it.
The chip coming from the queso bowl is.
Yeah, you're using a fork
There we
to
go.
like dip it.
Yep. Oh my
I was
gosh.
buying some of those fancy cheeses from the deli, you know, and they're so good. Just getting you like a big block of cheddar and just breaking that off.
Do you smoke?
If I
I don't like the smoked cheeses.
You don't like smoked cheeses? Okay.
oh what
smoked a lot.
Gouda is so Gouda.
Some of it is good. I won't say like it's all bad, but like a smoked cheddar, I'd rather just have a regular one.
Okay, that's fine.
Onda blasto. I will say that I don't know about you, Zach, but I did figure out that I can eat aged cheeses. So anything if the cheese has been aged 2 years or longer, it doesn't bother me at all, which is bizarrely I appreciate that tons.
Mom gave me a thing of Lactaid, the milk, and I
yeah.
don't drink it because it is disgusting. And I gave it to the alley cats, and the alley cats didn't like it either. They dumped the bowl out.
We're like, get this out of here.
I'm like, Bridget, they don't like it. They want some of your half and half.
Yeah.
That is funny.
Does like almond milk
Aged
fall
cheese
into
is
that
illegal,
category too? Will that mess you
That's
up?
disgusting. Well, that's
You don't
what
like
I
almond
eat.
milk?
Or that's what we have is
I
silk
see.
almond
Yeah.
milk. But I
You're not a
just-
fan?
eh,
I like it actually. It's different, but I like it.
Yeah.
It's bad for almonds are bad for the environment, Paul.
Oh, okay. Well, I haven't had it in a long
I don't know
time.
why almonds are bad for the environment. It's just in the good place they're
Oh,
bad.
I told you, man. My snack has been cottage cheese recently. Now that might gross a lot of people out.
Oh.
I will eat a
Do
whole tub
you
of
do
that.
cottage cheese with cracked pepper on it, or cottage cheese?
I don't do it
inside the
anything.
can
I just eat it out of the tub.
Yeah.
But I've heard that, you know, maybe I'll do pepper on it. You know, because in a tub
Lord,
of
that
it,
thing.
360 calories, 52 grams of protein.
Protein, yeah.
It's got a
Good
crazy
Lord.
amount of protein in it.
That's geez, I wish I haven't touched cottage cheese in ages. I do remember loving it as a kid though, like especially putting like berries or something in it.
My dad always did that. My dad
Yeah,
always
that was
did
what
cottage
peaches.
cheese with peaches because we had peach trees in our backyard, and
That's a good way to do it.
I just like
Nice.
it just how it is. But maybe I'll do better. But cracked pepper, huh? Maybe
Okay,
that's something I
okay.
can do.
How do you do your cottage cheese? Do you A, go and buy cottage cheese, or do you 2, leave your milk to curdle
buy.
and get little chunks in it, and then shake
No,
that up and
no.
then drink your milk?
No way.
No.
I
But
just
wouldn't-
buy it
but-
already there.
Yeah, because I mean, who can really afford a cottage these days?
True.
Let alone one you make cheese in. You wonder if that's why it's called cottage cheese? It was made in a cottage originally.
I have no idea. Maybe it's because you can make a cottage out of all those little cubes.
Also,
Okay. So
cheesy Legos. Cheesy Legos.
Do you like
Jeez, Legos, yeah.
tapioca?
I don't know. I haven't had it like in forever.
Okay.
Man, I haven't had tapioca
You know what I
in
did
ages.
see? Speaking of cottage, we need to probably get off the cottage cheese subject here in a minute. But what I saw was some guy was like, if you're craving Dippin' Dots, you get your cottage cheese and you like rinse it all out so it's not wet anymore. Then you can freeze that and add like yogurt or something. Freeze that, and then you got Dippin' Dots. I don't know if that's good or not, but we might try it.
Everything you just said
It just
terrifies
broke
me.
a couple people.
I don't know. Look it up.
Frozen cottage cheese is Dippin' Dots.
It came across my algorithm.
Oh man.
Cosmic mentions the
Dippin'
Zotac card
cubes.
reminds him of Noctua fans.
Oh yeah,
That
it's
is
kinda
that is
got
a gorgeous.
Yeah,
It's a
in
gorgeous
person,
card. It's got a
little bit more
great design
copper
too.
than brown, but yeah, I can see why you would think that.
Well, and if you look at the end cap on it, just it's a very pretty card. Very pretty. I like it.
There you go. See,
She's-
Temperance knows.
there we go.
Do that. I'm not alone.
You're not alone.
Or ricotta.
Oh,
Is
ricotta's
like
the word. Oh, that's
is that
the
where it's like just a
lasagna
cube of
cheese.
it in the tub?
That's the lasagna
What's wrong
cheese.
with that?
Oh, it's the it's like blue cheese. It's so bad.
What's wrong? I
It's
like
blue
bad
cheese.
for you. It ruins the taste of a good. Wait. It ruins the taste of a pasta meal. I'm not a pasta person, so
Oh God,
as you can tell.
I find myself fortunate to be lactose intolerant anytime that I think of
Make an eggplant
blue cheese.
lasagna. I've seen people do that. You know what I'm talking
That
about?
sounds nasty too.
It does sound nasty, but I bet it's good.
No.
Use enough
That's
tomato
like,
sauce.
I'm gonna make a pizza and we're gonna have a crust made of cauliflower.
Ew. Yeah, we
Oh
don't like
God,
that.
yeah, that's a weird one.
Get your cauliflower crust out.
Oh, we come from the state where we deep fat fry our Snickers.
Yes.
For goodness.
Why?
It's yummy.
Because.
And Oreos
why,
and Twinkies.
why would you not want to butterfry all of your food? I saw that the other day. Have you seen a butter?
I don't know, because I like
butter
having a
espresso?
31-inch waist.
I've heard of people doing this because it's keto friendly.
Oh gosh.
Like, I mean, that keto might be great, but I don't think eating a block of butter.
Oh, it's so good. Well, just the butter eating.
Oh yeah, no, I've heard of deep fried butter. That's also disgusting.
Oh, deep fried butter?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's just a stick
That's
of
the
butter.
meal?
It's so good.
I have not heard of that. Oh my gosh.
You can
So,
hear my arteries
It's also known as
clogging up.
I was gonna say it's also known as a deep fried heart attack. Is what it is.
Yeah.
True.
That was the one thing we didn't do in Vegas while we were there was go to that heart attack grill, and we should have.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, we should have.
Oh, I don't know.
What was okay? I was trying to talk about the
Next time we'll
that restaurant we went to where they were making the noodles in the window.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember what that was called?
the
Oh.
restaurant or
The
the
restaurant.
I don't remember the restaurant.
Or what casino it was in?
Shoot.
I don't remember any of
It was
those.
it was on the old strip.
No, it was on the strip. It wasn't on Fremont. It was on the regular one. We ate there
was
twice.
the-
Do you remember what it
Was it by
was,
strip?
Jason? That with that Asian restaurant we went to in Vegas where they were making the noodles in the window.
doing fresh cut.
It was in that
noodles?
casino.
Nicole's like, let
Oh,
me try to
Nicole!
remember.
Nicole's gonna
Nicole
come in
will
clutch.
remember. They had green
Nicole's
tea
gonna-
cheesecake.
Nicole
Yeah.
remembers everything.
We had teas. I had good jasmine tea.
I was talking with somebody. They were going to
good.
Vegas, and I was like, "Well, if you're in that place, you got to try this." So we went there
Yeah.
twice.
Yeah. Those are some places that deep fried chocolate bars. Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that sounds pretty good.
That's
Put a marshmallow in there. Crunchy s'more, crispy s'more. Ooh, you could use
Nice.
crushed up graham cracker as the batter.
Yep.
There you go.
okay. Now that's that's kind of genius.
It was the Noodle Den in the Sahara. Okay.
Oh, okay. Gaming Dad,
I think
hello,
that
welcome
casino
in.
just got like reworked or
Revamped.
whatever. I'm gonna look it
Well,
up.
now
after
that-
this.
Which one did they tear down right after we left?
Circus, not
No,
Circus. The
I think it
Flamingo?
was the Sahara. Was it the Sahara? Or no? Ow.
Maybe.
I can't type and look.
I'll look it up after. I'll recognize it from the entrance. I just don't remember. It wasn't one of like the people are like, how do you not know? It's not one of the main ones. Well, it's not the Mirage. It's not the.
I just did this the other day.
All that.
Gosh.
I was trying to remember this
made it.
pie house that we went to. I was in Australia and I couldn't remember the name of it, so I just went to used Google Earth.
Thank you, Nicole.
Went to where my friend Taste's house is, and then
Walk
did
the block.
Street View and just walked down to it. It's called Jesters. All right, look at that incredible job with the cable management. Back panel just slides right on. Get our CLX glass. Man, I have a feeling that Jason in Ohio is going to be super happy with this.
He better be.
It's just kind of wild.
This is I mean, this is almost as high end as it gets, really. Here.
Yeah. Yep. That is pretty much a beast of a machine. So we need to keep track of Jason in Ohio because we may need his help defeating Skynet. This could do it. Ba-da-bump, ba-dum-bump. Under the top we go. Okay. Gorgeous machine. Absolutely breathtaking. All right.
What could you do to make
Got
it
all that
higher
in there?
end? We could do one of our custom print designs all over the chassis. That would be pretty sweet.
And an open loop.
But that's
an open loop system.
Open loop, true. But as far as like hardware specs goes,
two
not
5090s.
yeah.
SLI Crossfire Edition.
Oh, dear God. Let's see here. Okay, are we about ready to take a look at this?
Oh yeah.
I'm excited to see how these look, especially the mirrors.
Not really.
Whenever you're ready, senor. What? Oh yeah, no.
Go for it.
You want me to?
As
We good?
Website.
we good?
Here we go.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Look at them fans.
Dude, the actual the mirrors light up.
Mm-hmm.
No kidding.
Infinity
That
meters.
is awesome.
That's so nice.
That is just fantastic. Oh my gosh. Incredibly well done, gentlemen. Incredibly well done. All right. So, in just a few minutes, we are going to take a break. And when we come back, you're going to get to spend the afternoon with Zach as he continues to build all sorts of amazing machines. This show happens every Tuesday and Thursday, starting at 11 a.m. Pacific. That is 2 Eastern. On Tuesdays, we are here with Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. On Thursdays, we're exclusively over on TikTok. If you'd like to know more about what's going on with everything in CLX Gaming, all you've got to do is head over to our socials. That is YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Threads at CLX Gaming. You can also join our incredible community of like-minded PC enthusiasts by heading over to discord.gg/CLX Gaming. So, with that being said, I'm not streaming today. On behalf of Jason and Kyle, Paul, and Zach, I'm DJ PDX. Stick around. There's more coming up after the break. We'll be right back.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.